And we're here with Travis Henry, senior on the Yale football team. And let's start with the obvious. You're wearing the 2006 Ivy League champion sweatshirt from your freshman year. And what was that experience like?
Oh, it was a great experience. I wasn't as hands-on with the team back then. I was a special teams player, and I got to travel as a freshman. So, it's a pretty big deal being involved with that and having my hands in it a little bit. But we had a very successful year, and unfortunately this year, not so much. But it was a great experience, and couldn't trade it for the world.
You mentioned special teams. You've been a proud special teams player throughout your Yale career, and talk about how important that is to you.
It's a third part of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams dominate the game. The team that usually dominates the special teams part of the game usually ends up winning the game. Especially being a defensive player, playing special teams, you get to have your hands in 2/3 of the game, which is a pretty big deal, as opposed to just playing defense or just playing offense, and you kind of don't get your share in the game.
Defensive players get to play, I think, with a little more, I'll say, reckless emotion sometimes than an offensive player would get to. Does playing special teams and defense, does one feed off of the other? Like, if you go make a big special teams play, does that help you the next time you're on defense? It kind of seems like it works together.
Yeah, I think so. I think you watch games on Saturdays and Sundays, and when a big play is made on special teams, the team kind of feeds off of that emotion, and you can tell when an offense or a defense takes the field, you can see that you see a little bit of spunk in them. You see that the energy on the team kind of rises up when there's a big play made on special teams.
We're sitting here before the Princeton and Harvard games. It's down to 2 games left in the season, and you've been through this before. What do you tell the younger guys on the team about what these 2 weeks mean?
Well, it's HYP, 2 of the biggest rivalries in college football, period. We just kind of tell the guys that although you need to treat this like a regular game, a lot of this is still a pretty big deal. The alumni definitely want us to have a lot to say about these 2 games. There's a lot of history played between the 2 teams, the 3 teams, and we just try to let them know that this is very important. It's important to us, and right now we've kind of played ourselves out of the running to get an Ivy League championship, but it's still a matter of pride. You look at history, and this game goes back 100 years, these 2 games, and it's just big. It's kind of hard to put words on it, but winning these 2 games can save your season, basically.
Off the football field, you're involved in a pretty special program with one of the neighboring high schools, Wilbur Cross, in New Haven. Tell us about that a little bit.
We got a program at it's actually CT Scholars, which is CT Scholars is a school that it's kind of a sister school to Wilbur Cross. They select about 150 9th and 10th graders to attend Scholars. They're not necessarily the top of the class or the bottom, kind of in the middle. Smaller classroom sizes, more one-on-one attention will hopefully bump these kids up to upper level classes, honor type classes, when they cross over to Cross for their junior and senior year. We basically take about 30 of these kids, and it's all boys. So we take them in, and we basically just try to be a means of support for them. It's important, especially having this platform at Yale, where you're in a neighborhood that doesn't necessarily get that kind of influence from Yale kids. I just feel that we're almost obligated to get involved in the community and kind of share our experiences with these kids so they can therefore become better men, better students.
You're doing that to serve and to help. Do you find yourself learning from that experience yourself? Oh,
definitely. I feel that it's a mutual relationship. We're teaching something to these kids, and in turn, these kids are teaching us something. It's growing up in this program has helped me to become a better man. I've had to kind of look in the mirror and check my actions and check what I'm doing to make sure that I'm being the best mentor that I can be to these kids. Can't be a hypocrite and tell these kids one thing and then live a different lifestyle.
How'd you get involved in it?
Isaiah Mares, who he played football and he got an injury, so now he's just a part of the equipment staff. He got me involved. We actually started in Bridgeport, but due to the, it's kind of far, and it's pretty hard when you're traveling 30 minutes a session to be as involved as you want to be in these kids' life. So we had to kind of drop that program. And CT Scholars kind of fell into our laps. And we started a program this is our third year at the school. The relationships that we built with these kids have definitely changed them. And, it's just a great thing that we're doing. It's very powerful to see the kind of change that is taking place at the school as far as the relationships that the kids have with their teachers and each other. You can definitely, talking to the assistant principal at the school, she said that this is probably the best program that has come to the school. And people have tried programs like this before at the school, and they kind of drop off when people graduate. But hopefully we want to implement it and institute it as something that can survive for years to come.
All right, thanks. And Travis, last question will be turning back to Yale football with 2 games left. What would you say, when you say I'm a Yale football player and being part of the Yale football tradition? Is it possible to put into words how much that means to you?
It's pretty special. No one in the world. There are only so many Yale football players. There's not a lot of guys walking around that say that they've done what we've done here. Perfect example. I say a couple weeks ago we had a home game. I think it was a Dartmouth game, and on a Friday night, the night before a game, most guys are like getting ready and getting mentally ready, and you're looking over some of the game plan, and I'm sitting in my room writing a paper and studying for a test that I have to take on Monday or Tuesday. That's what it means to be a football player here. You're not just a football player, you're a student as well, and you have other obligations away from the field. I think that's pretty special though. You really are a student athlete when you're a Yale football player, and you have a lot of obligations outside the field that make you have to micromanage your time, and to be able to come here and do that for 4 years is pretty special.
You mentioned how few people have done it, and it hit home to me to look and see how few the number is with the Jensen Plaza that was just really unveiled this week. And you look at that, and it's a grand thing where all the Yale football players' names are on the ground, and it's still a relatively small, confined area. And you see they got space for the next group of guys, and we'll be seeing your name there pretty soon.
Yeah, I hope so. It'd be nice to come back years from now, maybe bring my grandkids and say, look, here's my name, pretty special. I walked around the plaza, and it's a great facility. I think it's one of the best facilities in the country now. I think it's pretty special that they're honoring those who have come before us, because it kind of shows that tradition that Yale has, and it's pretty, like I said, it's just special to be here.
All right, well, thanks, Travis. Best of luck these next 2 weeks, and thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Travis Henry.